Mr. Speaker.
I call the honourable member Stephen Browning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to speak to the first reading of the Animal Welfare Amendment Bill. The Green Party are supporting it to select committee. We want New Zealand to be world leaders in ethical food production. A friend in the National Party said that he saw this as an enabling bill, but we have to be very, very careful that this bill must not rest at a level of just enough, that it's just not seen as a bill minimus as such. We have to reflect that in the rural scene and our farming scene, that there are systematic practices on our working animals that really have to be looked at very, very hard. We have to lift the game on those because we're getting too many bad stories. But it's actually still our average. Can we lift our average up a bit to be something that absolutely everyone, rural and urban, can be very, very proud of? Animal products, as stated earlier, 45% of our export income. Our economy is underpinned by these animals, particularly these working animals. But we also very, very well know what international expectations are around food safety, for example, and how much that expectation is rising, how important that is, and how closely we're being regarded. Well, animal welfare is similar, and it must be rapidly improved to ensure that it's not the next Clostridium, DCD, endosulfan type event. Photos of cages or mistreated dairy animals are not ambiguous. An image is way, way less likely to be seen as a false positive as we might get in some food safety issues. Our clean, green, 100% pure branding and ethical stature means that this bill must ensure the absolute best possible outcomes that translate into something that New Zealanders, rural and urban, can be very, very proud of. Live animal exports are intended to be managed through regulations through this legislation. Let's look at stopping the live export of animals for slaughter, full stop. Let's have a look at that. And in the Select Committee, I think we will see some submissions that will give us good cause to do that. And why are some of these exemptions that are foreshadowed in this bill seem to be acceptable? We need transitions that are not indefinite. We need transitions that have a very clear and short-term cap on them. And it's been mentioned already at section 183A5. In there we have reviews. Those reviews must be much shorter as a mandatory than 10 years, but we actually need caps in there. Also been mentioned around psychoactive drugs testing on animals, and it was appalling that the submitters could not present to the full cross-section of the House their submissions that they had made in good faith around psychoactive drugs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And as Speaker from National compared this, do we test on young people or animals? There is absolutely no need to test on either. And that was something that came out of the submissions to the Green Party that listened to those submissions. We don't need to do either. We can deal with the psychoactive drugs testing very, very quickly, short and sharp. Research is one other issue, and we have to think of the genetically engineered animals up at Ruakura, where they struggle to get 5 to 10% of inseminations to come through to live births, and often it is 0 out of a batch. Goys up there, goats, they call them goys, with females and boys' body. They come out as young male goats and induced into milking at 9 months by hormone treatment and the likes. The number of abortions and the issues up there are appalling. These are things that we can address very, very well through this bill if we put enough emphasis into it. So we can make a significant change through this legislation, and as we say, we support it to our select committee and look forward to hearing the submissions on that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call the honourable member Jonathan Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Look, I'm pleased to stand and speak